JF Stretford Paddock. This is Paddock Live. And for a bit of a change, just to mix it up a bit, we thought we'll put me and Joe on a podcast together.
It is the Paddock Podcast rather than Paddock Live, but you can call it what you want.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's the Paddock Podcast.
Paddock, sorry, it's the Paddock Podcast Live.
Yeah, it is live.
Not Paddock Live, which is what we call Transfers Live when it's not transfer season.
Easy to confused. So
well, this has been one of the best starts to any podcast ever. Yeah. Anyway, Joe.
Speaking of best starts to a podcast,
yes.
Look what's next to you, look. A little blast from the past. The old mural back in a new form. What do we think of that?
Lovely.
I think it's great. It used to take up the entire wall.
Can we see Sir Alex Ferguson in that? No. We can't.
We can't see
a shame. Because Sir Alex Ferguson's in the corner. It just reminds me of the fact that I interviewed him.
Yeah.
Don't like to talk about those. So can we just move on, please? Right. Get involved in the comments. Get involved in the chat. What?
Sorry. What? You, not Fergie, obviously. If you haven't already, check out paddockmerch.com. We've got this one. You see that?
Yes. He's got his Fernandez one. I've got my more traditional Mancunian type.
I'm not a Mancunian. I'm not allowed to wear that one.
Paddockmerch.com. Check it out. We've got all sorts of stuff on there. We've got some fantastic designs as well. The Ronaldo Bruno one, which Boca made, is my fave. So go and have a look at that. Don't forget as well to give us a like. Let's hit those likes. Got 40 likes, which is quite frankly embarrassing. We are going to talk. What's going on here?
Crumbs all over the place. What are you doing eating?
That's not me. That's not me.
I saw you were eating a biscuit in here earlier.
I don't do that.
In your leg.
No, I don't eat biscuits in here.
What are we going to talk about today, Jay?
We're going to talk about Lingard.
Right.
Ronaldo.
Your Lingard.
Your Lingard.
Your Ronaldo. Wait, say again. What are we talking about today?
Lingard.
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Aren't they the same person? After last night's performance, more like
nice.
Same person.
So what you did there.
2 goals for their country. Sounds like something they'd both do.
Just the 2 goals for me. We're going to talk about Fernandez, Bruno, obviously.
Bruno therein.
Yes. Donny van der Beek, a little bit. Brazil versus Argentina.
Yeah.
Also, January transfer window, because, as you well know, Joe, as one window closes, another one opens a few months later.
Isn't that doors?
Yeah, I think it might be.
People saying the stream is lagging. Are you aware of that?
We're working on that. Any technical issues? We have the best of the best, the creme de la creme, working on it. Don't worry, it's all in hand. Stick with us. Also, we've
got the equivalent of 2 sort of trainee guide dogs that didn't make it because they got distracted too easily. Like they're good. And they're cute.
They're cute, as well as just shouting.
My word, can they be distracted?
I'm not going to say that
proper lagging.
on
something
camera.
Needs to be fixed here.
Very laggy. Sounds like they're stuttering. Sounds like me after a beer, says someone. Okay. If you can hear this and see it, thanks Shushant Dar, who's been a member for 9 months of the academy. And he just says, nothing to say. Viva Ronaldo, Stretford Paddock, a big socially distanced to all the lads there. Thank you, Shushant. Thanks for all your support as well. Much appreciated, as always. We will try and sort out any technical issues, but in the meantime, we are going to talk about Jessie Lingard. Now, Jessie Lingard, he scored a brace against Andorra, right? Okay, not the most testing of games, admittedly, but you can only beat what's in front of you. Obviously, played very well. It's okay now. It seems to be fixed. People commenting in the comments with the technical issues. Does that, do you think, do anything? Does that mean anything? Do you think that Ollie looks at that and goes, Jesse still got it, or do you think it's just almost irrelevant?
I don't know. It shouldn't be irrelevant because it seems like when the player doesn't play for so long, like Jesse hasn't, really for Manchester United, he's barely played in about 2 years now.
Yeah.
When a player hasn't played for so long, it is worth knowing that they can still do it. And I think you do need those reminders that they can still do it. Because if he's going to bring him on and trust him, or start him in games, try and win us games using Jessie Lingard, he needs to know that Jessie Lingard can still do what you expect from him when you put him in. And I think the West Ham going there, that was a reminder that he can still do it. I think the game for England yesterday was a reminder that he can still do it. And you do need those reminders because he's not getting those reminders for United, so he needs to be able to get him in one way or the other. And I think it's important that he proved himself. He could have got a hat-trick yesterday. He did get the 2 goals and an assist. I thought he was England's best player, alongside a couple of other good performances, but I thought he was very good. And you just think, I think obviously it's not going to go, right, it was good against England, let's play him against Newcastle. But I think now if you're looking at a sub, you're looking on that bench, and you go, well, there's Mata, there's Lingard, we know Lingard can do it still, and we know he can do it in the Premier League. I think it does help him out. Do you?
Yeah, I still feel like Ollie does rate Lingard. I mean, he's only played like 4 minutes or something. He came on against was it the Southampton game he came on for, where he got a few minutes and everyone was like, "Oh, why is he getting on ahead of Donny van der Beek? Why has he been given a chance and all this sort of stuff?" And I think Lingard still is in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's thoughts. Had a good pre-season, had a good loan move at West Ham at the end of last season. Obviously, everyone expected him to go in the summer back to West Ham. That didn't happen. But I still feel like, you look at the amount of games that he played when Ole first came in. He's obviously someone that Ole knows very well. He's known him since he was a kid. And I still feel like he can do a job for us, Jesse Lingard. I just feel he's up against it in terms of the amount of players he's got in front of him. Because the good thing about Jesse Lingard is he can play in a 10, he can play on the left, on the right, he can even play almost as a midfielder. If you look at some of his games for England, especially when we went on that World Cup run to the semi-finals, at times he was almost like a midfielder. He's like an 8. So he can play in all those positions, but we've got players in all those positions. And we've actually got probably world-class players in all those positions. You've got Sancho, you've got Rashford, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Bruno, you've got Paul Pogba. It's like if he was, if he was someone who could play anywhere along the defence, he might get the odd game or whatever. Or if he could play as a deep midfielder. But because he plays in the positions where we've got so many good players and players that will want to play as well, I think it is going to be difficult. But I think he's going to maybe have to just use the opportunities he gets in the Carabao Cup or maybe in a dead rubber in the Champions League if we do well in the first few games, I should say. He's going to have to use those games because I imagine Jesse Lingard is going to be absolutely chomping at a bit to go to the World Cup with England. He's got a chance because Gareth Southgate rates him, but he's going to need football. Lots of people discussing the stream and whether it's some people saying it's laggy and some people say it's working fine. We are looking at that and we'll do our best to get that rectified for everyone ASAP. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think. Fake Sonia says Jesse's mental health is important too. Might be picking United to be close to family, etc. We spoke to Jesse Lingard when we were full-time Devils. We had a good sit-down chat with him in the Chippy chat, and he came up with that name himself.
That's good, isn't it? I like that.
So we're going to try and rekindle that now that COVID and restrictions have sort of gone out the window a little bit. And he spoke about how he asked to see a psychologist at United. He actually wanted to see one. Very open about his mental health. He did interviews after that. We spoke about some of the struggles he's had as well. I think his family situation changed. He's got a daughter now, I think. And I think he might have lost someone as well. Forgive me, I can't remember the exact details. But yeah, he was open and honest about that. And he seems to be one of those players, Jesse, that when he's enjoying his football, when he's confident, when he feels the love, he performs a lot better, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He had that awful time, didn't he, when things weren't going his way, obviously struggling mental health-wise, and his confidence was struggling. And you could see it, couldn't you? You could see it on his performances.
Yeah, and the fact that then he's not getting games on top of that doesn't help, does it? So you've already got the off-the-field stuff, and then you've got whatever's going on the field, which isn't really working out for him. You can understand how what happened, but it's not as though, again, not trying to be sort of club before everything, because obviously people matter as much as anyone. But from a manager's perspective, if he's not performing on the pitch, you can't sort of play him anyway and hope that the confidence he gets from playing can sort of pull the rest of things back. That's not necessarily going to work, is it? So I think it makes sense that United didn't play him, but hopefully he can get a few games now. Yeah. Let's just ignore all that, because we can't fix it anyway, can we? So.
Sorry, I was just looking up. There was all sorts of stuff going on. I think a lot of people are sort of agreeing with you. Oliver Edwards says Jesse's a better option off the bench than Martial, Mata, and even Donny. Yeah, I mean, Donny's an interesting one, and we're going to get to him a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to see more game time for Donny. Some people saying that, they couldn't believe Jesse came on against Southampton, it wasn't Donny van der Beek. But that didn't surprise me, because I thought if you look at the games that Jesse had towards the end of last season, the fact that Donny van der Beek was injured as well for most of the summer, Jesse Lingard did well in pre-season as well. It doesn't surprise me that Jesse Lingard is sort of ahead of him in the pecking order. I know a lot of people don't like to think that, because there is this sort of desire to see Donny van der Beek get more games, but Jesse Lingard, he's not a spent force. He's a 28-year-old who is a sort of semi-regular for England, who's won trophies, played a lot of football, was on fire towards the end of last season. So it's only only to be expected that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still going to give him chances. Get involved in the comments, hit that like button. Let us know what you think about Jessie Lingard, about Donny van der Beek, anything else that takes your fancy as well. Should we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, go on.
Because we've not spoken about him for about 2 hours.
Where is he?
Well, he's in Manchester, isn't he? He's chilling in Manchester. Did you see his Instagram post?
Yeah.
What he's saying? He said it's not sunny in Manchester. Or words
And he was
to that effect.
sunbathing, and it didn't look like the sun was that strong.
No.
He didn't have sunglasses on, did he?
No, I don't think so.
It can't be that
To be
sunny.
fair, though, we do that in Manchester, don't we?
What?
Like, if it can rain and you'll get the barbecue out.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Do you know what I
But he's
mean?
not
Like,
from
there's a
Manchester,
little
is he?
bit of sun.
I mean, neither am I.
Yeah, and people are walking around with no top on.
He had no
You're
top
like,
on, but I think
yeah.
he has no top on
Yeah.
at all times.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if I had a body like Ronaldo, I'd probably just be out sunbathing and taking
Would you?
photos for the Instagram.
You think?
Probably, yeah. Wouldn't you? Well,
It's
you
hard
do
to
it anyway,
imagine.
don't you?
Well, I always have my belly out.
Yeah, you've always got your belly out. You're always like, I'm just nipping to the shop, lads. I'm like, Joel, please put some clothes
Shuffling
on. Come
about
on.
with no top on.
Yeah.
I like doing that. I shave abs into my belly hair. Like, do you remember when there was always that big scandal about what was it called on the Twilight films, where they saw him like spraying abs on with like some sort of like tanning machine,
Right.
And everyone was like, I can't believe this.
What, on the Twilight films?
Yeah, what's his name? Edward Cullen or whatever is the character.
Oh, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. They had to spray a six-pack on him.
Right.
Because they wanted the character to look like
Yeah.
lean and sexy, and he didn't have a six-pack or not a deep enough one. So they had to spray it on. And I've just done a similar thing, but I've shaven little squares of belly hair out.
Right.
So I've just left basically an outline of like what the shadow on the abs should be.
Yeah.
So obviously side on, the illusion's broken, but
Yeah.
straight on, my God, have I got a very weird set of abs. I've put a 15 pack in as well, which is weird because it has to be one in the middle at the top because I forgot to do it. It has to be an even number.
Do you know you can get like them frozen pasties?
Yeah.
I've just sellotaped a load of them to my belly. Just sellotaped six of them.
Chicken Kiev.
Yeah, there you go. There's your
go.
6
How's
pack.
that for your 6-pack?
Hey.
That one's burst. There's garlic butter running down your thigh. No. That's just
jealous.
gelatin. Jealousy. You're jealous. It's not gelatin.
MG99 says, is this Cristiano Ronaldo any good at football?
He's all right, isn't
Yeah, he's all right. Do you think, right, because Ronaldo played the other day, didn't
he? Yeah.
he? Against Ireland. Scored 2 goals, broke the record for the most international goals ever. But he missed a penalty.
Shit,
mate. Bruno Fernandes doesn't really do that, does he? He doesn't really miss penalties. Do you think there's any chance that Bruno's going to keep his penalty-taking role at Manchester United Football Club once Cristiano Ronaldo's playing as well?
I can't see it. I think they already playing a team together.
Yeah.
In Portugal.
Yeah.
Ronaldo takes the penalties. I wonder, unless Ole says to him, Bruno takes the penalties here.
Yeah.
Or Mcguire says to him, Bruno takes the penalties here. Whoever it may be.
Yeah.
I can't see a world where Ronaldo doesn't just grab the ball when that first penalty gets given. Do you think? Because the funny thing is as well, Bruno scored a penalty for Portugal. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
So it's not as though he's next on the list. He's still in good form in front of the from the 12-yard line. Bruno is the better penalty taker,
Yeah.
but Ronaldo scored like 100 more penalties than Bruno has in his career.
Purely based on the fact he's played so many more
Yeah,
games. And
and
taken
Ronaldo's
so
got a
many.
very good conversion rate.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as Bruno. Bruno's
No.
is like 93%, which is
It's ridiculous.
staggering.
It's as good as you can get, really.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
like,
it's
no
like
one,
2 out of 30.
yeah, no one's quite on that level.
No.
I think even like I was watching the England game, like Harry Kane, I think they said had scored like
10 of his last 13.
yeah, which is kind of par for the course almost. I think you expect
It's slightly better than average,
yeah,
but
slightly,
not a lot better.
No, it's like you expected to score around 7 points something out of 10, aren't you?
Yeah.
And obviously Bruno's on like 9 points something out of 10. I think Bruno deserves to keep taking the penalties, but it's Ronaldo in it, so it wouldn't surprise me if Ronaldo's just come in.
I wonder if they'll come up with some sort of deal. I saw people saying like Ronaldo takes penalties, Bruno keeps free kicks. I think Bruno has to keep free kicks. He's just way better than Ronaldo is these days.
Ronaldo takes like 50 free kicks for every goal, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's not actually that good at it.
No, it's something ridiculous. But he tends to score free kicks as well that are quite memorable. And you know, he scored one in the World Cup, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's still got it." And that was
style.
like his 30th free kick in a row for Portugal where he'd not scored.
Because of his style, that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks sensational when it comes off, and when it doesn't look so good.
Yeah, I personally, I'm gonna guess, right? I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Bruno to keep the free.
Really?
To keep the penalty, sorry.
There is no way Ronaldo comes to England and gets 20 goals when he could have got 30 because he let Bruno have penalties. Yeah. No chance.
I think he does.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think he's like, yeah, fair enough, I'm the one that's turned up late? Or do you think he's like, they have a fight and Bruno wins? How does that go down in training?
I just think Ronaldo says, do you know what? You don't miss. Keep taking him.
But why doesn't he take him for Portugal then?
Because Ronaldo was already the penalty taker for Portugal, and Ronaldo's record for Portugal is very, very good. So there's no reason to change the penalty taker. Ronaldo's coming into a team, and you can't go off like, oh, well, I used to take the penalties in 2009, so I'm taking them again. I think that's a bit of a stretch. So I think you're coming into a team where you've just got an absolutely perfect penalty taker, and it's like, you just crack on. Because it's like when Bruno came in, didn't he? And at first, him and Marcus were like rotating. Do you remember, like, Marcus took a couple of penalties when Bruno came in, like, they mixed it up and then that ended. Because at one point it was like Marcus and Pogba, wasn't it? And then it became Marcus for a little while. Then he missed a couple. Then it became Bruno and Marcus. And then Marcus just took a step back because Bruno doesn't miss and sometimes Marcus does. And I just feel like now it's like Bruno's just got to keep taking him. I think I might be wrong. I mean, not that this is the most important thing, but I don't think there'll be as many penalties this season as there was last season.
No.
Last season was just ridiculous for penalties because of
stupid.
VAR went turbo, didn't it? And it was like anything, any contact with your arm and the ball was a penalty. Anyone falls over in the box was a penalty. And, it more or less, last season, the season before, I mean, more or less gave the Scousers the title, didn't it, if we're being honest, really. And probably cost United the title last season as well. So, if that's how you want to win a title, City and Liverpool,
disgusting.
Then, just by being given it by officials, then that's up to you. You're not on the watch along, are you?
No.
Saturday.
I'm at the game.
That's weird, that, Joe, because you usually do the watch along. You do go to the game now and again, but you're not someone who always goes to the game. And I wouldn't have thought, Newcastle at home would have been a game you'd have earmarked for going to. It's almost like you've seen that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to play for Manchester United for the first time in 13 years or 12 years and thought, I know what I'll do. I'll make me bi-monthly trip to Old Trafford.
13 years, 12 years. Count your fucking years, mate, first of all. Second of all, what are you implying?
I'm implying...
What's the suggestion here, Marty?
Suggesting that you've took the fucking piss, right?
What do you think I've done?
You've gone, oh, Ronaldo's here. Oh, I want to go and watch him. And then you've got a ticket to go and watch him.
I told you. When I was stricken with COVID, no less. So this really, really poor form from you to bring this up because I was this close to not coming back. Right? Stricken with COVID. I rung you and I said, what did I say?
You said... I've got a ticket for the Newcastle game.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't be on the watch along that day. This was weeks ago. Before Ronaldo was even rumoured to City, let alone to United, let alone playing his first game against Newcastle.
I mean, to be fair, that does make you a proper jammy bastard.
Oh, it makes me jammy, yeah.
Because, United versus Newcastle, it's not even the first game in front of a packed Old Trafford where you go, oh, it's the first game back. Yeah. It's the second one, so we've already had Leeds, and it's like, okay, it's always good to see United, obviously, but it's like United-Newcastle is one of those games where you think it's one of those unmemorable games.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to go, like, in 10 years' time, I was at United versus Newcastle. Well, now you fucking are.
I will. Because my dad rang me, and he was like, going through the tickets and stuff, what's available. Because, like, most of them are just in a ballot for some reason at this point.
Yeah.
So it was like, the Newcastle is the only one that we can literally go... I want tickets, let's buy tickets. So I was like, right, let's just get them, and then we'll go in for the ballot on, a handful of others as well. Because obviously I have to do the watch-alongs, so I can't go to every game. And
and to be fair, when we sort of sat down and we were talking about what we can do on the channel and everything, and you were like, I still want to go to games, but I'm happy to just do, like, a handful of games a season, which is good because... It could have been like a source of contention where it's like, well, one of us is, someone's going to have to start missing out because Howson goes to a lot of games, Maka goes to a lot of games, I go to a lot of games. We were all season ticket holders and you were like...
Yeah, because I didn't have a season ticket growing up, so I'm not saying I need to go to every game, and I like doing the watch-along, so that works, but it's like, I want to go to...
the good thing is for you, right, if you stick around for another 19 years, I reckon by the time I'm 60... I might take a step back from going.
You think?
I think
so. I'll do the watch-alongs for the next 19 years, and then you'll do.
Well, I probably won't do watch-alongs.
Oh, right.
I'll probably just watch it.
So it doesn't help me at all. Then. So what are you doing? Give me your seat.
Yeah, you can have my seat.
And down your season ticket. They wouldn't even let you do that, would they?
What?
Would they let me have your season ticket?
I could send it over to you, but you'd have to put it in your name. But I can give it to you. Like my season ticket originally came from because I used to share a season ticket with my uncle and my cousins. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, can't remember when it was, Tomo, I used to go to the game with his brother.
Yeah.
Wasn't going anymore, so I took over the season ticket.
Yeah.
But rather than just keep using it, I put it in my name. So you can do that. But yeah, you've picked the right one. You and your dad got Old Trafford to watch Ronaldo. That's got pretty
Not
special
bad.
on it. That's decent.
Not bloody bad,
I love
that.
that, mate. I do. Talk MU in the super chat says, big up, guys. Great stream as always. Keep up the good work because I love it. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your support as well. Do hit the like button and get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about the return of Cristiano Ronaldo, as someone just called him. No, we're not making that thing, by the way.
There have been some rumours of a bit of lag on this stream, but I'll tell you what never lags, Jay. I'll tell you what never lags, and that is the Lawnmower 4.0. Because this show is sponsored by Manscaped, isn't it, Jay?
It is sponsored by Manscaped, and we always appreciate their support.
Yes,
and
Manscaped!
So, all the way from Australia to Houston, all the way from Altrincham to Hyde.
Love that. Love that from you. Love that from you, big man. Keep me talking.
Do we have a pube problem?
Excuse me?
If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0 technology, right?
Yeah.
Kick your pubes off the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0.
Kick your pubes.
This is all very space orientated, and I'm worried that I've got the wrong one.
Jay, kick me in the fucking pubes and tell me everything's
kick me in the pubes and tell me you hate me. So I'm giving the game away there. The orbits in your pants.
When you text me that time, was that meant to go to your missus?
No.
That was to me, was it?
It was genuinely.
So what? First of all, what are Manscaped?
Right, Manscaped are the people that look after your pubes. Yeah. They look after your pubic area. Yeah, because let's face facts, you've got to move with the times, Joe. Yeah. You can't be like, I'll just leave it all there and just don't tidy it up and all that.
19, I don't know, 04?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 2 words, suffragettes. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say to you. That. Yeah? So you've got to get down there. You've got to look after your balls. So, keeping up the planet theme, the orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men.
That's honestly so many men.
2 million.
Almost as many as you've in your time. Go on, carry on, lad.
I wish.
2 million.
2 million.
Time to do anything
2
else?
million. That's just an afternoon.
Hey.
Who trust Manscaped trademarked and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to Manscaped for 20% off. Manscaped.com for 20% off using the code Devils20 because we've all been there, Joe, haven't we?
Yeah, we've all been there.
In the bathroom or wherever, or in the street.
Yeah.
Shaving.
Yeah.
And you've had a little overdone.
I can't look.
Shaving foam all over your bits.
Yeah.
Causing yourself with dramas and the razor blades and all that. No, you don't need any of that anymore. Because with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, with the Performance Package 4.0, you've got the lot, right? You've got the Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, which I need a lot of. You've got the Crop Preserver ball deodorant. This is my favourite.
No longer do you have to hang a little car freshener tree around your penis to keep the boys smelling clean. You've got your own testicle deodorant. And it keeps the whole area going. And this is from, wherever, from cock to coccyx. This covers the whole basis. Round the whole U-bend. Do you know what I mean? I just slather it on. And anyone who happens to get their nose down there is in for an absolute TREAT, my man. What do you have to do again? 20% off and free shipping. What do you have to do?
Yeah, it's manscaped.com, for 20% off and free shipping with the code Devils20. So you get the lawnmower, you get the weed whack, you get the 7,000 RPM motor, which is part of it. It's a new multifunctional on-off switch when you can engage a travel lock, and it's even waterproof. So you get in the shower or in the bath. Oh no, man! Don't worry about electrocuting yourself. What happened? Because you can and all that business. Yeah, come on.
Why are you squeezing it so hard?
I just get excited when I've got vibrating things near my penis.
Thank you once again to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Again, Devils20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you
for a clean trinity and beyond.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity. It's not Law Best in Charlton now.
Wow, let's just move on from that. Quite that analogy before we get in serious trouble. Thank you to Manscaped. AO, who's been a member for 10 months in the academy, it says, never seen someone so excited for a Manscaped read as Brucey behind Joe there.
He loves it.
We love Brucey. Ross Murphy, welcome to the academy. I thought Ross Murphy had been a member for time in memoriam.
Cam?
Um,
Can we see Brucey a sec? Look how happy it is for the Manscaped read. Go on.
Oh, yes. He loves it, doesn't he, old Brucey? Peter Kelly.
Right.
Off topic.
Oh.
But, Joe, are you and Steve going to talk about the All-Ireland football final on the fixture list this week since it's on this Saturday?
If we do a fixture list this week, I'll make sure we talk about it.
Right, okay.
All Ireland. All of Ireland playing at once.
Yeah.
Using the whole country as a pitch.
Coming together in the name of sports. Yeah?
Sports.
Mid-Toker Marius, welcome to the Academy.
Welcome.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate it greatly. Right, we've spoken about Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
We've spoken about Jessie Lingard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what we can mention as well,
Go on,
what I'll do an honourable mention for,
Go on.
against Hungary,
Yeah.
your boy, Harry Mcguire.
Oh, yes, with a header.
Yeah, man.
Do you know something? He's got 5 goals in 38 games for England. Which
Decent
is
record, that.
Yeah, excuse me. That's better than 1 in 8. Now, if he could get that for United, he'd be on like 7-8 goals a season because he plays like 60 games.
Yeah.
If he, I think the target for him should be 6 goals this season because I think 5 is basically 1 in 10, and I think he should be just slightly better than 1 in 10. For a centre back, I think obviously maybe double digits being the sort of a secret goal in the back of your head, but there's no reason that Mcguire, with the fact that 2 things that play into this, well 3. One, he's sensational at winning headers.
Yeah.
His accuracy isn't always brilliant.
Yeah.
The other 2 things are new to this season. One is Eric Ramsey.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have slightly better instruction and understanding of offensive set pieces because he's a new set piece coach. And the other is that Rafael Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo have been added to this squad, who are both tremendous aerial threats themselves. I know Varane doesn't get loads of goals from
Joe.
corners.
Spitting facts, my
but
brother.
He's very good at winning headers, and you now have to put someone on him. He's 6'3". He's good in the air. It's not necessarily certain now that everyone's best defender just goes on Harry Mcguire like they used to.
Yeah.
He might have a bit more space in there. He's got to be getting, a goal every sort of 8 or 9 games, I think, for United. Because generally speaking, he usually wins 1 or 2 headers from corners per game, doesn't he? He's winning loads. So I reckon, as a little target, 6 goals at least for me.
You know when you had your predictions amnesty,
Yeah.
so you can just make a pretty
Say what you
daft
want.
prediction and not get clips up and it rammed down your throat, even though people probably still will. Mine was Mcguire double figures.
Yeah.
I think that, it's one of those predictions where, it's probably not going to happen, but you can sort of say it.
Weirdly, since the end of the Euros, in the games that he's played, I know a couple of them have been friendlies. Cam, if we can change the camera. He scored 3 headers in 6 games.
Yeah.
He scored in the friendly against Everton. He scored in the behind closed doors friendly against Burnley.
Yeah.
And he scored for England. Unfortunately, only one of them is a proper game.
Yeah.
But he's only played 6 games since England, the Euros final, and he scored in 3 of them. Now, if he can carry on that, obviously he's not going to get a goal every other game. But he's scoring a lot of headers at the minute, and if he can carry that on, that would be massive for United. Just to add another sort of 4 or 5 goals to what he scored last season. I think it was 3 last year, or 4.
Because the thing with Harry Mcguire is, I'm just going to bring up his stats here. This is it became, I think, a bit of a myth about his goal scoring because of how easy it is to feel that as a United fan. Because you remember he got that last minute equaliser for Leicester against us. He scored in the World Cup before we bought him. So you get into this thing of always scores goals, Harry Mcguire, because you have that sort of recency bias, or it's happened against you and you've seen it for England.
Yeah.
Where he was never that prolific as a goal scorer. Just looking at his stats here, I mean, he scored 5 in the league once, but that was for Sheffield United in League One 7 years ago. And if you look at his record for Leicester, 2 goals in his first season in 38 games in the league, and he didn't score any in the cup, so it was 2 goals in 44 games, 3 goals in 32 games the next season. So bang average in terms of goals for a defender. Most defenders will get 1 in 10-ish around that. So there was nothing there. And then he obviously comes to United. He got 1 Premier League goal in his first season, 2 in his next one. So he's never been a goal scorer. The reason I think it gets highlighted more now, or the reason I expect more, is like you said, he gets his head on a lot of things.
Yeah.
He does. He gets, like you say, he gets at least 1 or 2 headers a game.
Yeah.
And okay, you can look at the Burnley game where he was hard done by because that was a perfectly good goal that was chalked off. But he should, for me, the amount of headers he gets, he wins. He should be getting at least 3 or 4 more goals a season than he does, because his record is pretty poor. People are saying in the comments, we can get into the comments here, because with Rafael Varane, as you pointed out, we've got Rafael Varane who can get goals as well. And again, people are commenting about the lagging and it's out of sync. We are looking at that. I think we've just made a few changes, but it should be all right soon. If I can find it. Someone says here, Oliver Edwards says, Mcguire's going to have a Bruce-esque season at some point, surely. Steve Bruce scored 19 goals in a season once, but he took penalties as well. So I think 10 of them were penalties or 11 of them were penalties, and he was just unreal in the air, Steve Bruce. He wasn't even that tall, he just won loads of headers, and he was minute heading. I think if Harry Maguire can get close to 10 goals a season, anywhere near that, it's pretty decent return. Let's face facts. Even if Harry Maguire doesn't score any goals, that's not the be all and end all. He's not in the team to do that. It's just for someone who can obviously get on the end of so many. And as you said, we've got your mate Eric Ramsey in. Yeah. You did a good video analysing where he's come from, what he brings to the team. You should check that out on the video on the channel. Joe's video on Eric Ramsey. For anyone who's wondering who the hell Eric Ramsey is, he's this new set piece specialist who's been brought in specifically to help us win headers at both ends of the pitch. So yeah, he should be able to benefit from that, and also the better deliveries we've been having recently because Luke Shaw's kicked on a bit, hasn't he? Bruno, you can rely on him for a decent delivery. So we've got the players that can fire it in there. He gets the space in the box. He just needs to make the most of it. But no, it's good to see him get on the score sheet for England because I feel like Harry Maguire this season, so far, he's been a bit up and down. He hasn't been his usual self, I feel, for United.
Which game was it? Southampton?
Yeah.
Where he didn't give a goal away. He just was a bit sloppy, wasn't he? He wasn't great. I thought he was all right against Leeds. Yeah. I thought he was good again against Wolves. Sorry,
I've been a bit harsh there. He probably is just the no, you're right.
It's 1 out of 3, so it's still up in the air, isn't it? Him and Varane I thought looked good against Wolves. Just they had a lot to do as well in terms of shepherding and jockeying because the amount of times that the midfield was just bypassed against Wolves. So that fucked him up a bit. But I think they actually did a decent job there. But yeah, he needs to step on again, and I think he was doing that, and I reckon he will do, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and I think with Maguire, if he can do that, if he can add that to his game, a few more goals, then you've got the almost perfect centre-back. Because I think defensively he's great. Yeah. I think bringing the ball out of the defence is great. I think he's got that confidence as well where he will sort of bring it out as far as he can go. You saw him against Wolves, where again he was doing that thing where he's bringing it forward. With Varane as well, who's also another one who can bring it out of defence. So you've got two players there who can carry the ball out of defence. And I think that could make a massive difference. In the chat here, Abdullah Ibrahim says, do you know much about Richard Arnold? Any ideas on what his plans are or his background? All the news says he's replacing Woodward, but nothing more. This feels very much like just like-for-like replacement, really. I don't think it's going to make any massive difference. I don't think you're going to notice it where you're going to go, oh, now Richard Arnold's come in as, executive vice chairman if he keeps the same name or title, that Ed Woodward had. It's not like a Van der Sar coming in or a Rio Ferdinand or someone where you go, oh, here's someone who's got loads of connections with players or, he knows the United way. He knows United. He's been at the club for a little while, but I think his background is very much has been as sort of Ed Woodward's right-hand man. So it's almost like, just an assistant manager becoming the manager, really, isn't it?
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
And, whilst we were we did a live stream when Woodward got sacked and a lot of us were celebrating and laughing and, I've never had much time for Ed Woodward, not just because of what's gone on as executive vice chairman, but he was the one that brokered the deal that made the Glazers take us over. He was an investment banker that made that work, so I've always hated him for that. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see much of a change.
I think also, since Ole's come in, we've seen kind of, I know that Woodward gets blamed for a lot of United's bad transfers. It's like, Falcao and these sorts of people, and we see that, he gets a lot of stick for that. And I'm not defending Woodward because I don't think we know any more now than we did then as fans. But we've seen that United are capable of signing good players. Over the last 3 years, almost all the players that Ole has signed have been successes. And even the ones that, Dan James has already left, certainly wasn't a failure at United. He played a lot of games. He wasn't up to United standards, but he wasn't a failure. He wasn't a terrible signing. He didn't disrupt, the sort of the foundations of the club like, someone like Sanchez did, or even Di Maria sort of, shook things up in a way that we didn't need. We're still capable of signing good players. Maybe the number of players are different based on but I think that's, more the Glazers than anything. I do tend to believe a bit that Woodward doesn't necessarily do that much on the football side of things, especially now we've got John Murtough, we've got Darren Fletcher sort of filling that gap in from the manager up to, the CEO or executive vice chairman. You've sort of got that gap filled in a lot more. There's a lot more filters and people who know football in terms of Darren Fletcher. And we are capable of signing good players. It's just the overall scope of things maybe needs readdressing. But I don't see, like you said, all of that culminating in really any difference in how things are run than how things are now, really, do you?
No, I don't. I think, listen, we're stuck with these Glazers. We are for the time being. And, we're never going to be like going berserk in the transfer window and doing everything as fans we want to do. And it does leave a bad taste in the mouth. But if we can at least have people that understand what their job is and can try and make things work, then, that's a step in the right direction. You think the fact that Richard Arnold has worked alongside Woodward, hopefully he's learned from that and knows what he's got to do. Like you say, the fact you've got Darren Fletcher there, who's someone who knows football, as technical director. John Mercer is a football man, apparently, as director of football. I don't know a lot about him, but I've heard a few varying reports. Then if we can just get some sort of cohesion and strategy of working together with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because that's what's been lacking. You've had this sort of chaos at United where you've had managers coming in and going and making loads of signings, and then new manager coming in and making other signings, and then backing a manager one window and then not the next. If you look at Jose in 2018, where we just, we finished second, then we brought in Fred, Diogo Dalot and Lee Grant, and it just wasn't enough. There's never been a sort of plan. And if we can just get to a place where there is a plan, then I'm all about that. I mean, obviously I'd rather the Glazers, sold up and fucked off, but that's not going to happen. So
what do you think of the fact that
a strategy while they're here?
What do you think of the fact that the Ronaldo signings, to me, I would say is the least planned, the least kind of in the mould of what Ole seems to be doing, signing that we've made since he came in?
I think that sort of, as a manager and as a club, you need to be able to react when there's a signing that's available. And we did it with Eric in sort of 92, 93, where, Howard Wilkinson rings up wanting Dennis Irwin. Fergie, Dion Dublin's got injured. Ask him about Eric. Oh, yeah, I'll have him. Make it happen. Same with Ronaldo the first time round. He has a good game against us, tears John O'Shea a new one, and it's like, right, can we get him? And he was on his way to Arsenal, wasn't he? He was going to go to Arsenal. We make it sign happen. So you need to be able to react, and you can usually do that quite quickly when it's not massive, like £100 million transfer or whatever, which obviously in Ronaldo's case, I think it's like 20 million quid or whatever. So it is like you say, it is a very reactive one and not usually what Ole's done, but there has been an element of that a little bit. If you look at the Igalo one, that was very last minute.
That's true.
That was like him knocking on his director's door saying, I really want to go to Manchester United.
Yeah, because he wanted Josh King then. Who else was it that was...
I don't know, but Josh King in the morning was the one. Yeah. And that underwhelmed me. And then when we got Igalo, and I grew to love Igalo just because he was like, it's like watching one of us play for United, buzzing on Instagram and, in his pajamas with his kids, just loving life. And I just thought, you can't hate on a guy. But yeah, it was all very last minute. And like you say, he hadn't been our main target, and we ended up with him in the 11th hour just because we needed another striker in. But with Ronaldo, it was more a case of like, oh, he's going to go to City. And it felt like the United old guard mobilised as well with like Rio and Fergie.
It's
and
funny
everyone.
that, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. It's like, everyone making that happen. And, I'm glad the club did that. I'm glad the club made, that doesn't mean I love the fucking what else has gone on, but I'm glad they made that happen. And you need to be able to do that when there's an opportunity like the one is with Ronaldo. We've already seen as he broke the record for shirt sales, if you care about that sort of thing. Yeah. It's probably, I know that United don't get all the revenue for that. I think they get a small percent of that.
Like less than 10, about £5 a shirt apparently.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it's still some money.
It's
still towards his transfer, and just the Ronaldo factor of him being at your club, it generates money, doesn't it? I think it put money on the club's worth. So yeah, it wasn't an Ole-esque style of transfer, but that's what you need to be able to do if an opportunity comes up like that. I'll start again. Sheikh Sabahuddin, forgive me if I butchered your name there, bro. Says something that's gone under the radar is Greenwood's been taking some corners. 2, also, how true is it that Phil Jones played as 6 for us a few times? I saw this coming up, and my memory was like, I'm getting this wrong. In the Bernabeu against Real Madrid, he was a 6, wasn't he?
He's done it a few times.
Yeah, that's the one that stands out. And I remember having this argument. If you go back to my old tweets when Twitter first started tweeting, I thought he could be a 6 for us when he first joined, because he used to play as a centre-back for Blackburn, and then he played a couple of games as a 6. And in defence, when Jones joined, we had Vidic, we had Rio, Johnny Evans, Chris Smalling, I think joined around a similar time. And it was like, we probably need someone who can play in a 6. Carrick was getting on a little bit, where you're like, okay. Scholes getting on. And it looked like Phil Jones might be an option there. Didn't really pan out. But
he definitely played a few games there, though.
100%.
I can't remember the specific games. The Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, the Real. I think
memory serves.
Because I remember he did a decent job in Real Madrid. in the Bernabeu. I think Ronaldo got away from him once. I think he scored. But then in the return one, let's bring it up here. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I think in the return leg, I think Jones injured himself against Reading or something in the game, and he did I might be getting this wrong. Is he Reading or Southampton or one of those teams? And he did a thing where his touch let him down, and he dived in to correct it and hurt himself and injured himself.
Fuck.
And then I'm pretty sure he missed.
Remember that?
I'm pretty sure he missed the return leg, and it actually was one of them what we could have done with him.
Yeah,
because he'd done a good job as a, like I said, in a 6. But yeah, in answer to that comment, that question, he did play as a 6, although that's not like where he's played most of his games.
Get him in there now.
Well, I've seen this. A few people saying this. I mean, it's not going to happen, is it?
No.
We're not going to play Phil Jones as a 6.
Be funny though.
Maybe if you get in the Carabao Cup for a giggle, but I don't see it happening, to be honest with you. Red Lad T says, did Jones not play as a DM for Blackburn, but always seen long term as a centre back? I used to cover Blackburn. So I mean, memory's a bit hazy, but I think he was a centre back for Blackburn. But I think he did play as a 6. And he played at right back as well for United as well. Don't forget, and for England. So he played a few places. Ross Murphy also says, Jay, I had an issue with my credit card. I'm back now. Glad to hear that, Ross. We need you.
Well, you seen this stuff about us getting Haaland in January?
Talk to
All
me,
this
bro.
nonsense. Well, it's from one of them like sort of sporting witnessy type ones where you sort of go, is this a real thing, or are they just getting other things, or is it maybe you can find it there. But basically, talk that United are going to go after Haaland in January, and because there are some rumours, aren't there? Do you remember Marco was saying that his transfer clause actually becomes active in January, not at the end of the summer?
I mean, I might be left with egg on my face there, but I think I did the news when I saw that.
Yeah,
and I was sort of, because what we do when we do, you've done the paper talk more than anyone, and like you'll see it in like Goal or the Mail or whatever, and it'll say reported by Mars, and then you'll click on that link, and then it'll say from reported by someone else, and you'll click on that, and actually it just leads to nothing, to a tweet or something. You're like, hang on a minute, and I was like, I couldn't really get it stood up properly, and I was like, this sounds to me like it might just be that he can sign a pre-contract agreement in January, which would make sense anyway if he's leaving in the summer, because can't Pogba do that?
Yeah, but that's because he's coming to the end of his deal, whereas Haaland isn't. He's just coming to the point where his clause becomes
so
activated.
It's different then. So he can actually go in January.
Well, apparently, but again, why is it only Marco reporting this? Because I think I did find it on Marco's website.
Right. No, I think I found it there, but I was like, the quote. Sorry, when I found it there, it was like it didn't seem very well sourced. When I read it, it wasn't like it. Just I got the impression it was almost like.
Because surely everyone would know this by now. Although these contracts aren't public, are they? But I'm sure you would think that clubs would know this.
Surely, yeah. Because you think with someone like Raiola as well, you'd want to get a bidding war going.
Yeah.
Because I know, obviously, there's a clause, but his wages and his signing on fee. And, was it not reports that Chelsea, it was looking at around $500 million, the quote from
the full deal.
Yeah, because it was like just something like £1 million a week or whatever, and like for 5 years. That. And then a signing on in bonus of like 100 million. It's just stupid money.
I'd be shocked if he's getting more than 500 grand a week from anyone, because he's a good player, but he's only ever scored goals in Germany and then lesser leagues than that.
Yeah,
and he's never won anything, or he's won one trophy.
He's won a cup, I know.
It's hard to sort of quantify exactly what he's worth. Obviously, he's worth a lot, and he's a highly rated player, and he's good, and he scores loads of goals. But I think, maybe that second contract at a big club. But you're not leaving Germany and going on to £1 million a week.
No,
that is just stupid, and it would never happen.
I think they might have to be careful here a little bit, Raiola and Haaland, because I think that you look at Real Madrid, who obviously just won Mbappe. I don't know if they're going to go big with Mbappe and Haaland. I mean, it's not, they have done that in the past, Real Madrid, where they've bought in the Galacticos and they'll get one big player and then another one straight away. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility, but they might just go all in for Mbappe and then not really want to go all in for Haaland. You look at Barca, who just out of the game, they're completely skint. I don't see anyone in Italy coming in for him. Bayern Munich, that could be an option, but they do take players off Dortmund quite a lot, but there's not been many noises there, as they like you say, so that doesn't sound like one. Chelsea have just bought in Lukaku, who
City's the one, isn't it?
City, they obviously wanted Kane, they've not got him. Are they going to go in for Haaland, or are they just going to go for Kane again? Or, if someone like Ferran Torres sort of steps up and does the business.
I think he'd have to get so many goals.
Yeah, I agree. It's very unlikely, but
he'd have to get like 35 goals this season.
Would Pep go, actually, I'm not going to bring in Haaland? There's so many ifs and buts, you don't know. But I think that United have a good chance of getting him.
You think we still want him?
I think we would. I think because Ronaldo's 37 in February. Mason's a phenomenal player, and I think Mason Greenwood will definitely be up there for me as one of our all-time top scorers if he stays injury-free, and he stays at United, of course. But then you look at it, who else is down the middle? Cavani, 34, and he's going to leave in it at the end of this season. Marcus isn't a striker for me. He plays on the left. Martial, okay, he's only 25, but how reliant can you be on him?
He's only 25, but how much has he improved since he was 19?
No, and I don't want to hate on the guy because I do love that Tony M.
But he's not going to. I don't think when you've seen the last 6 years of his improvement, which is, I would say, single-digit percentages.
Yeah,
he's gone from 15 goals. He got 23 one season, but he was playing up front and he was taking, some of the penalties. I know, actually, that season he didn't take penalties, so take that bit back. But he was playing up front. But generally speaking, he's not improved that much. I can't see him improving to the point where he's better than Haaland in 12 months.
No, I can't. And I think there's always going to be that element of worry with Tony Martial. Like if he has a good spell, and then he has a couple of games he doesn't score, you think, is he going to go back to this? Like, is he going to go back to this sort of barren spell that he had?
Yeah, but we've definitely got room for Haaland.
No, I'd like to see us get Haaland. I think he's an absolute class player, and I think there could be scope for him and Mason Greenwood, but we'll have to wait and see. It's just the Riola factor in it. It's just dealing with Riola. It's not the one you want to do, really, is it?
Dickhead.
If you can help him. If you can help it, sorry. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for everyone who's got involved in the chat, in the comments. Wally of the week, before well reminded. Who's your Wally of the week?
I don't know. I don't know now. I shouldn't have said it because I can't think of one. I would say Donny's agent.
Yeah?
Yeah, just I personally, I'm more of the sort of just keep your mouth shut.
Do you know what my Wally of the week is? I mean, I could just say all of them who were on that. You go on it sometimes, TalkSport, but I'll sing.
Oh, yeah, there you go. This is better. Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Cascarino, right?
Really?
Because I hate when people do this thing, right, where, like, I like Harry Mcguire. I think he's a fantastic defender, and I think he's been a great signing for us. But then you go in comparing to someone who's a lot better, or who's a legend, and then say he was better than that legend. It just makes it just a stupid argument.
Who did he compare him to, for anyone
Stam.
who missed it? Yeah.
He said, given a choice, it was the 99 team versus the current team. And he said he'd put Mcguire over Stam, right? Which is stupid, really, because Stam, for me, is the greatest defender I've ever seen.
He's just a better
player. And what was even more stupid, even if you are going to argue that, right? Even if you're like, you know what, I just love Mcguire, Maguire's my boy, Rira, whatever. His reason was like, well, Stam wasn't at United long enough. But Stam was at United longer than Maguire's been so far.
Yeah.
So that argument doesn't make any sense.
No.
So it's just this usual thing of, how can I spout the most nonsense to get a reaction? It's work because I'm reacting to it.
Yeah.
But it's just...
Dave Bond, the whole thing the same.
Yeah, what was that? Was that like...
He said in a final, he'd take Harry Kane over Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's like they just come out with the most ridiculous opinion because, again, if you were going to say something like, oh, if I had to sign Kane or Ronaldo, I'd sign Kane because he's 28 and he's going to got another 5 years in it. Ronaldo's 36. He's probably only got another 2. I get that argument. But in a final, I'd take the guy who's played in 3 finals, lost them all. 4, sorry.
Yeah.
Lost them all and scored no goals in any of them.
Yeah.
Over the guy who's played in, 30 finals or whatever and scored 20 goals and won 20 games or whatever. It's just so fucking ridiculous.
It couldn't be based on less evidence than if he tried.
It's like a parody, innit?
It's just completely shit.
Yeah. It's like
utterly shit.
And
opinion.
what annoys me is like one of my big bugbears is when you have these sort of shows, or even if it can be an interview or whatever. Like, if you said something like that, I'd challenge you on it. Or I'd say, well, that's not factually.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, well, how do you explain this? Or how do you explain that? Or what about the fact that... And yet, whenever they do these things, or come out with this nonsense, like, the presenter will just laugh along with them. Yeah. Really? What? Really?
Well,
yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah, and I think, why? What do you mean, yeah? Why are you not saying, no, that's just
because they're not that one as well. Obviously, the Stam one is different because it's not different, but it seems to me like he just didn't see Jaap Stam play for United very much.
No.
And it was just, he just said something stupid by accident and just had to come up with the reason why he said it. The Kane Ronaldo one is so obviously fake or thick, one of the two, that I can't believe he said it. Kane has never scored in a final, never really turned up in a final. You know, he was poor against Italy. He did play against Liverpool. He was awful against Liverpool in the Champions League final. I can't even think of the other finals he's been in.
He was in the...
Was it the FA Cup against Chelsea? Against City, wasn't it? The Carabao Cup last season.
Yeah.
That's the worst performance in a final I've ever seen from a team. Tottenham didn't have the ball once. It was just 100% possession.
What was the fourth one as well? I always forget the fourth one.
Was it another Carabao Cup?
There is one. I think it was another Carabao Cup. But
I don't remember that one.
It was back in the day, because if I go to his, I'm just looking at...
The last ones, he was terrible against Italy, awful against Liverpool. The whole team didn't even play against City, and somehow you would pick him over Ronaldo. He doesn't mean what he's saying. He doesn't mean that. He's lying. He's just saying it. So this happens. And like I said, we've fallen for it. But at the same time, what he meant to do is a big company. And he's just lying for the sake of it. What's the final?
It was the League Cup final in 2015 against Chelsea.
Chelsea. Did he have a shot on target?
I don't know.
I heard he hadn't even had a shot on target in these finals.
This is what I mean. It's like, what are you basing that on? How can you defend that opinion?
He scored this penalty against Italy. That's
right,
it.
Okay, yeah.
Like Ronaldo hasn't scored
lots of goals in lots of finals, including like the Champions League final and
multiple Champions League finals.
Like Ronaldo scored in the FA Cup final, right, in 2004.
Yeah.
And from that day on, he scored more goals in finals than Harry Kane. If he never scored again after that 17 years ago, he'd still be ahead of Harry Kane in winning finals and scoring in finals. So it's just ridiculous. And it's just like, TalkSport used to be so much better than that, and now it's just come to just clickbait, just utter nonsense. They're my Wally of the Weeks.
Yeah, thanks again to Manscaped. As you can see there, use the code Devils20 for 20% off and free shipping. And also check out paddockmerch.com if you haven't already. Loads of merch on there, loads of new stuff as well. We'll be getting some pictures and we'll be showing you some of the new merch as well. We've got some of that ordered, so make sure you check out paddockmerch.com. Paddockmerch.com.
That's been Joe Smith. You can find him at JoeSmith93 on all your social media. Abby J Mott, you know where to find me. We have got another video coming out later on. Don't worry about that. A little video. Exciting, decent. Don't you worry about that. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Check out the merch you said. And also, if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. We're over 600,000 subscribers now. We want to get to 700,000. Let's get 700,000 subscribers by the time the season ends, so we can lift the treble and hit 700,000 subscribers in the same week.
Beautiful.
That would be poetic, wouldn't it? Yes, this has been the Paddock Podcast. Thanks for watching.